Hello and welcome to Darkside Scenics. In this video I'll show you how I made these workbench projects with the Creality Falcon 2. My last video with the Creality laser cutter was a laser cut bridge diorama, so this is something slightly different. Starting off with something simple, I needed a storage solution for all the kits on my workbench. The MakerCase website is a very easy way to make laser cut boxes. After I've put in the dimensions, I can simply download the file and then drag it into the Lightburn software. Now I'm going to personalise these boxes with my logo, so I just need to drag in a file and then use the trace image function in Lightburn. Just to be clear, the red lines are for cutting and the blue is for engraving. After a quick look at the preview, I set the engraving job to go first before the cut. And then I can save the job as a G-code file and then insert it into the Creality Falcon. This job was videoed inside the Creality enclosure, so I could safely extract all of the fumes. Now the job's complete, I can do a quick test fit before gluing. I made a few of these boxes for various kits and the process was very quick and easy. It's a great way to organise things and it will stop my workbench from becoming a mess. Moving on, I was very keen to make a portable workbench so I could work in different parts of the house or maybe even the garden. I went back to the MakerCase website and used a simple box design as a starting point. Before you download, it gives you the option to set the kerf, which is the gap made by the laser cut. I don't usually use that setting in MakerCase as I can make the adjustments in the Lightburn software. This is quite a large project at 380 by 380mm, so I'm going to do it in stages. The Creality has a working area of 400 by 415mm, so the size won't be an issue. This is the base and I just want to remove the finger joints from the front edge. I can achieve this by using the Edit Nodes function in Lightburn. Again, the job is saved as a G-code file and added to the TF card. As the laser cutter is in a different room to my PC, this is a really useful function rather than having it connected via USB. The next job is to work on the sides, and they're going to slope from the back to the front. When I'm happy with the design, I can use the duplicate function to create the other side. The top of the box needs to be reduced in size to fit with the design. And by moving the pieces around slightly, I can fit all of it on one board to avoid waste. You can see here that I've added some handles to the sides. The large holes at the bottom are for tubs of glue and a jar of water. The smaller holes are for paintbrushes, tweezers and other accessories. This part will be glued to the base of the workbench. You can see the top part replicates the lid, which should stop the accessories from moving around. All of the wood I'm using on this project is plywood from my local DIY centre. The label stated the thickness as 3.6mm, but it's actually 3mm. This does seem to be quite common when buying thin pieces of MDF or plywood. With the frame cut out, I can move my attention to the paint holder, which I left a small space for at the back of the workbench. This is a basic 3-tier design, but it will keep the paint pots nice and secure when the workbench is being moved. While I was waiting for these pieces to cut, I had several ideas about some design improvements for the workbench. I usually find I have to actually go through the process of making something before moving on and making improvements. It's very rare I get anything right the first time. Now it's time to see if all the pieces fit together. Standard wood glue would be good for this project, but as I was really happy with the fit, I just used this lighter laser kit glue. A few of the areas were clamped while they dried. This base piece needed to be weighted down after it was glued. You often find with plywood this thin that it's slightly out of shape. This is the small shelving section for the paint pots. The guides sit on the top section while the shelving part just slides in from the side. I cut 2 removable pieces for this front section as I wanted to have the option of using different sized paint pots. And once it's been glued, it slots nicely into place. While I waited for the glue to dry, I had a very quick look at the Rotary roller, which is included in the upgraded combo pack. To use the Rotary, you need to increase the height of the laser cutter using the included risers. The cable from the wire axis of the Falcon needs to be disconnected and then attached to the back of the Rotary. I'm definitely not an expert on using the Rotary, however after a few tries I managed to spray the glass jar black and then get a copy of my logo on the side. Once the black paint was removed, it left a light etching of my logo. And now the fun part of putting all the accessories in place. Some of the glues and the weathering powders are slightly larger than the paint pots, and this is why I wanted this section to be removable. This was an enjoyable project with a very useful end result. If you want more information on the Creality Falcon 2, please see the links in the description. If you like the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks very much for watching.